Okay, welcome to part 2 of our LiveSafe Security Tips Series. In part 1, we discussed the need for parents to communicate with their kids, especially if you have kids who are in school. If you have a kid who's in elementary, middle, high school, or in college, a parent needs to be able to communicate with the kid so that if that child sees something or hears something that's out of place, their parent can take action. Or if the kid wants the parent to take action and phone the school or the police, that they can do that. But I can't tell you how essential it is for a parent to communicate with their kids. So part 2, parents aren't off the hook yet. I want to talk in this section about what a parent can do to influence their kids. The title of this segment is called Influencers. And I want you to think for a minute, if you will, about what your child's influencers are in his life. And probably the best way for me to ask that question is to ask you first how the child spends his or her free time. What do they do with the time that's outside of their study time, outside of their chores? What do they do in their free time? Time is an amazing subject in and of itself. We only have so much of it. And what we do with our time, how we spend our time, greatly influences our attitudes, our moral positions. Everything in our life is influenced by how it is we spend our time. So what do your kids do in their free time? Do they play video games? Do they look up social media? Are they involved with dance, art, music? Do they watch TV? Do they go outside and play? You know, when I was growing up, and I'm going to date myself with this, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have computers, we didn't have video games unless you want to count Atari, which I wasn't interested in, but that was kind of just coming out. It was pretty boring. We went outside and we played with our friends. We played kickball, freeze tag, dodgeball, you name it, we were outside. And with that bicycle, we could get all over town. And the objective was that you had to make it home before dinner, because that was a rule. We usually abided by the rules. Whether your mother or father set the rules in your house, when they said to be home by a certain time, you were generally there. If not, there was a consequence. We didn't have the luxury of timeouts. Usually something else would happen. And our school systems, how have things changed there? When I was coming up, they had prayer in the mornings. They read a Bible verse. We all stood in honor of the flag and recited the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't remember anyone being offended during that time. How about now? Let's talk about your kids' influencers in their life. Who are your kids' influencers? Is it a musician, a movie star? Is it a grandparent? Is it a friend, a sibling? Is it you? Are you one of your parents' influencers? Or one of your kids' influencers? I certainly hope so. If you're not, you should start today. You know, we sit back and we allow Hollywood, TV advertisements, TV shows, movies, to engage in social engineering, where they tell us what we should think, what we should want, and how we should live our lives. It's a problem. If you're a parent and you're not fully engaged with your kid, then you need to be engaged with your child. You need to become the influencer in their life, the primary influencer. And if you've got your own problems, your own skeletons that you're dealing with in your closets, then you need to deal with those. Kids need to understand the value of manners, of honesty, of kindness, of positivity, of morality. of respect for everyone, regardless of their color, their social standing, you name it, respect for everyone. There needs to be a change in this country. And the change begins at your household, my household. We need to be the ones who direct change in this country. We need to be the ones who change the way we do things. You need to have cell phone free zones at your house. You need to put away the telephone, turn off the telephone, put away the cell phones, turn off the computers, and you need to spend time with your kids. Quality time. Take them outside. Do things that show them that you care about them. Be excited to see them when they come home or when you come home in the evening. Spend time with them. Get down on their level. Understand what's going on in their life. You need to be the major influencer in that kid's life. You need to be the one who establishes a moral code and lets them know what's right and what's wrong. You need to get them involved with activities and groups that are positive. You need to tell them the dangers of drugs and alcohol, gang activity. And you need to tell them to stay away from those things because they'll destroy their lives, if not kill them. Be an agent for change. Stand up for what's right. Stand up for what makes a difference. Let them see a positive example in your house. Whether you're a single parent, a married parent going through marital problems, deal with your own issues, but be there for your kid. Understand your child. Let them know you love them. Change needs to begin in your house, in my house, in our neighborhoods, in our schools, in our towns and cities, and across this country. If you're going to wait for the politicians, law enforcement, and school administrators to fix it for us, you may be waiting longer than you want. Change begins in our households. Be the influencer for your child. Let them know that you're there for them. Take a stand for decency, morality. Get them involved in church groups, church youth groups, civic groups, sports, positive activities. You be there with them, if at all possible. Be the parent. Don't point the finger at everyone else. Let's all take a look in the mirror and do what we can to make a difference, to make this country safer, to make our families safer, our kids safer at school. Just do something.